when you affect somebody else, you can affect someone in ways that you didn't even think, you didn't even intend, but it's an effect that they mark within themselves, and they feel that that's so valuable. And you may never know that until, that can come out to you months or even years down the line.
Hi, Janice. Hi, Nikki. Thank you for joining us to have this conversation. We've been looking forward to this conversation for some time now. As you may know, I am a master strategist. I help female entrepreneurs and businesses be super clear on their why and set goals to live the successful life that they desire for themselves. Nikki, how about you?
Hello. Hey, Karen. Hi, Janice. I'm so excited. This is one of my episodes that I have really been looking forward to. Janice is my personal naturopath, so I cannot wait to talk to her. She has such beautiful gems. I'm learning so much. I love her to pieces. But let me just introduce myself. My name is Nicole, and I'm a health crisis strategist. I am laser focused on addressing the disparities that we see in healthcare. I'm laser focused on doing my part. And the way that I do that is by educating single women, single mothers rather, on what they can do, some steps that they can take to put a plan in action, so that in the event of a crisis, all they have to do is put their plan in action. They don't have to navigate through the emotions and the stress and while they're going through the crisis. So that's me. That's what I do. Janice, welcome our naturopath.
Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you, Karen. I am super excited to be here. I'm so happy to be able to share, because as a naturopath, my expertise is in finding the causes of disease and then working to reverse the conditions of cause, because the body can naturally heal itself. So I too am a strategist of a kind, but my strategy is more to do with the body and how the needs of our cells, at the deepest level. And that works not just to do with nutrition, not just to do with exercise and how much water we drink, but how we are emotionally, our mindset, our spirituality, our whole being is so intimately integrated, isn't it? And we have to look at all aspects of our being when we are trying to find healing and well-being at its highest level. So that's me.
I love it. I love it. This series is so appropriate right now, because as we are going through a pandemic, how could we not talk to someone like you to help us to figure out what we can do to build our immune system so that we can possibly prevent catching a flu, a virus, or if we do experience it, some things that we can do to strengthen our body to help us fight through it. Like, to me, it just makes sense to definitely include you. How can we talk about health and navigating through anything in our life without our health being a focus? I love
That's a very interesting point that you make. And I think it addresses, conflicting premises that we see in our world when we look at the debate about health. On one hand, we see, a push for medications to address the health issue. But then on the other hand, there's another argument that says it's not really about what is coming from the outside. It's about the condition of what is already on the inside that predisposes us to be able to fight the assault of what is coming from outside. And there is a conflict there, and there is a debate there. And I am not against medicine. I would say that. I think there is a place for medicine, but I am also very, very clear that there is not one drug that can cure one disease.
Yeah.
It can help to manage, but cure, never.
Yeah. I think, isn't that true? That conflict that they have, or that we've heard over this past year, COVID and the coronavirus impacts you based on your strength, your immune system. If you already have some pre-existing conditions, then you are more susceptible to being a victim of it. So I'm like, well, then where is my extra vitamin C? I bought so much vitamin C. I bought so many things, black seed oil, like, oh my goodness, to make sure that my immune system was strong. So
just for me to understand it a bit better, and the nuances that make naturopath the way to go, especially as we're women, and for me, I'm aging. So
we all
you
are,
want to be, in the best, in the best health that you can be. So when I hear naturopath, what should I be thinking? What should that be telling me?
Well, the biggest clue is in that word of naturopath is the word nature. Okay. And there are certain laws of nature that govern our being. Now, our ability to achieve and experience vitality and vibrant health is commensurate with our alignment, the level of alignment to those natural laws. But for many of us, we grew up without familiarity, as to what those natural laws were or are. And we may have naturally bought into some of those laws, but we may naturally also be contravening some of those laws. Yeah. And so what we find is along the way, there are cracks that emerge in our well-being, whether it's to do with our hormonal health, whether it's to do with our joints, whether it's to do with our, digestive health, or our skin, or our hair, And one of the most beautiful things, I mean, you've kind of talked about, being a woman and going into a different, stage as we age, right? I'm actually there with you, okay? But what I can say from experience is that, shall I dare say that word, but menopause can be a time of great empowerment and vibrancy in a woman's life. It can be a time of hellish misery. It can be both. It could be either, I mean, but it can be that you migrate from that misery to a place of balance and joy, because the way the body was designed, it was designed so that we reach an age where we can regally assume our position as matriarchs in our community, to help the nurturing of the next generation, having gone through the process ourselves with its pains and its heartaches, to help those coming up, and to be free from certain other physical issues so that we can take that role with more freedom and with more power. But instead, we've been told that everything dries up at a certain age and our estrogen disappears. And so it's just downhill all the way to the grave. But it's not that way. And I can tell you, that is certainly not the way it needs to be at all from experience. I can tell you from the time I had my first hot flush and I said, you know what, Janice, you got to act like girl. And I have no symptoms whatsoever. And, I believe that is within the grasp of every woman, and the more before you approach those years, the better it is. But once you're in there, things can be turned around by aligning ourselves back to those laws of nature.
I'm going to tell you all a funny story. So as I was entering the second half of my 40s, I kept asking my mom, so I hear all about this menopause. What's this? What do I need to expect? Because they say you might be like the elder women in your family and so forth. My mother said to me, Karen, you have nothing to worry about. Janice and Nicole, let me tell you all, at that moment, I was done with it. I was like, I have nothing. My mother said, don't worry about it. I finished. Because I said, I'm not doing those flashes. I'm not doing none of those things. I'm not about all of, no. It wouldn't be that.
Get that fan. I bought one just in case.
And I just stopped. I mean, and I never had a flash. Honestly, goodness.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Fantastic.
but I'm here thinking as I listen to you and everything that you said, that when I was younger and I was like struggling with my asthma and everything, that a naturopath would have been the ideal person to have been in my life at that time, because it would have saved me being on meds like prednisolone and,
Oh, yes.
you know, yeah,
Most definitely.
and all of those things, because while those medications help you, they also have another side as well, which we don't always pay attention to. So
Very true.
um,
Very true.
that that's really good.
I'm sorry. I just want to say this. I just want to give a shout out, a huge shout out to my mom, to my mommy, like big time. Because the reason I know about this natural approach to everything is because of my mother. If I were to show you our kitchen from the time I was a child, my mother always took a natural approach to just everything. And so, I didn't, before COVID started, I got sick. I had like this horrible cough, right? And so I go to the doctor and they give me cough medicine. The cough medicine doesn't work. And and if they gave me a liquid form, and they gave me a liquid form with codeine, and that didn't do anything. And then they gave me a pill form, and that didn't do anything. My mother said, do, 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 do. She went to the health food store. She came back with this amazing cough syrup that helped so much. And now it helps so much, like I stocked up on it. But that's how I grew up.
We've spoken about, why educating women, why sharing this message with women is so important. You've hit the nail on the head. We learn from our mothers so much, not just what is said, but also what is unsaid, and a lot of modern women now, because of the pressures of having to generate incomes as well as rearing families, there is sometimes a pressure to just give a child what he or she wants. I don't know what it's like in the States. I'm in the UK, but I remember when I gave birth to my children, the philosophy at the time was, breastfeed on demand. But I said, I'm going to feed to time. Okay. And I can tell from the outcome with my children that the ones that I fed to time and the one I fed more on demand, kind of bit of a mixture of the two, the one to time has more self-control. It has impacted. Okay. And you see, when as a mother, you give into the desires of your child. The child might just want to eat Twinkies all day, right? But can we afford to give them those things? But I think because parents and mothers particularly find themselves under a lot of pressure, they sometimes don't have the time to manage the desires of their children, to say, you know what, this is what you need to have. And if you don't eat your food now, there's nothing later. So you eat this food.
That's why I think the combination of millennials and baby boomers together is the sweet spot. The wisdom from the old and experienced with the new upcoming innovative ways. That's the sweet spot. It's a balance, right? So definitely. I agree with you there. I so agree with you. What were you going to say, Karen? I interrupted you before. I'm sorry, sis.
Oh no, but I've been so engrossed now in just following the conversation. But I was wondering, from where you are sitting, Janice, if you had to tell us something or some basic things that we should really be doing or incorporating into our life. So what would that be? So if you took me, for example, my journey, I came up and I was diagnosed as an asthmatic from a very young age. I was living in St. Lucia at the time. Then I came to Barbados, and I think I was about 6 or 7. And I went, kind of was quiet, but then it flared up again. And then that's when I was then on the steroids and everything. But as you know, women, whether you're young, whether you're middle age in the 30s, whether you're maturing in your 40s, are there some things that we should really know and pay attention to?
Most definitely. I think one of the key things to understand before you even go there, though, is to understand what sickness actually is, what disease actually is on a fundamental level. And what disease is, it's actually nature's effort to free the body from adverse conditions that have arisen due to the violation of the laws of our being that we were not familiar with. Okay, so, and there is always a cause. You know, we never have a flare up for no reason. There is always some contributing factors. So if we can understand the cause and we can work with the cause, then we can find the key to reversing the condition in the body. And then we can help the body with natural things, whether they be herbs, you know, extra vitamin and mineral supplementation or whatever, to remove the impurities that have become, you know, that have started to clog the body and cause that inflammation in the first place. Now, you know, for someone to understand that, I think that is very powerful, because then they realize that the disease itself isn't the problem. The problem is their body is not able, it doesn't have enough to cope with its natural effort to free itself from these adverse conditions.
It sounds like it's strategy. It's the basic fundamentals of strategy, right? We're all business women, right? So even when we're solving a problem, aren't we told to get to the root cause? Aren't we
Absolutely.
told to ask why 5 times? Right?
That's why my business is called Intelligent Healing, because it makes sense. It makes sense.
Get to the root cause. I love it. And I want to say, I'm going to give her a shout out again. That's what my mommy told me. That is, I'm going to shout her out throughout this whole episode. She was like, get some fish oil. You're not thinking right. Go get some omegas. You need some omegas. Your brain needs some food. You're deficient.
This is it.
Everything that Janice says and everything that you've said reinforces what I fundamentally believe. Until we understand the why, until we are crystal clear on the why, until we have examined and asked. I mean, when I work with clients, you know, sometimes they may think, is this lady crazy? Because she's saying, why? So why this? Why? And we're going and we're going and we're going. Because until we are clear, because sometimes we think we're clear, you know, sometimes we really think we have the answer and we know why. But it's only after we've been asked certain questions, it's only after we actually start to peel back the layers, as I like to say, and go deeper, that we discover what we thought was the why was not the why, and that it was actually being driven by something else. So this why comes up in just every single thing. And I tell everyone that I work with, everyone that I encounter, it may take time, but it is worth it. Understanding and being crystal clear on your way, that is just worth everything.
But did you ever think, did you ever put it to the disease, to your body, to your health? Like, why does my stomach hurt? Okay, because you ate something, but why is my stomach hurting? Because I ate that. And then, oh, it's in reaction because it's causing inflammation. Why is this causing inflammation? What, right? That's,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you know, if you have a baby and your baby is crying, you wouldn't just try and find a sock and stick it in the baby's mouth to stop the crying.
Great analogy.
But that's what we do with our bodies. Our bodies cry. But then we find, you know, what drug to stop the crying. We're not looking to check the diaper or, you know, nappy, as we say in the UK. We don't check to see if the baby has wind. Or the baby may just need a cuddle. What is our body telling us that we need? And, you know, this is so important. And I think it's important for everybody, but for women, we are so in tune with what others need around us that we care about, but we often are not so in tune with or we don't give ourselves the space to be in tune with the cry of our own body, right? I hear resonation amongst the sisters. And, you know, this is why, you know, if you were to ask me, why do I have such a passion for women? They give ad infinitum to burn out.
We do.
I just
You
want to
know.
hug you. I really just want to hug you. That is the truth, and the more truth.
Is it the truth?
It is. This is something else that I say. Women, we're like superheroes, you know. We're the mom, we're the sibling, we're the partner, we're the businesswoman, we're the professional, we're a leader in the church. And the one person that we tend to leave out 8 times out of 10 is ourselves.
That's right.
You know, and that's when all the feelings of feeling stuck and being overwhelmed, because you're doing it for everybody else, but you know what, you're not doing it for you,
and it can't be sustained. Not with quality. And then guess what, when we don't do the quality, guess who we hit on? Ourselves. We beat ourselves over the head.
Yes. I'm definitely hugging you.
So
Janice, that is so, you know, that is just so true.
You gave us so much. You addressed so much. I want 2 things actually before we go. I want you to talk about your experience with helping cancer patients, and one thing. If you could give us one thing that all women should know, if you could think of one thing that all women should know.
Maybe I could kind of tie the 2 together somehow.
Okay.
Do you know that if you were to take 200 micrograms of a yeast-free selenium every single day, you are likely to successfully protect your body against breast cancer? I would like more women to know that. That's an easy hit.
Wait, spell it. I need you to spell.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, spell it, say it.
There's so many things that one could say, so many things that one can do, but this is something that's not expensive. It's not hard to do, but it could make the world of difference for somebody. Yeah, so that's one thing. We are never out of yeast-free selenium in my house. It's on my table.
Yeah. Amazing. I've never heard of it. I'm going tomorrow.
I'm telling you, Nikki, I'm right beside. I'm in Barbados, you're in Jersey. I am going to find that. I'm getting this. It will be in my house. I have walked beside a very good friend of mine who battled stage 4 breast cancer. And, you know, having information like this could have made such a difference.
Absolutely.
Such a difference.
For some reason, I've developed a specialism in working with people with cancer. Probably mainly because, you know, I think there are some of my counterparts that are not so comfortable with working with cancer. You know, I've had people come to me that have said, you know, well, I've tried other people, but they weren't so happy to take this on. And for me, until God says no and the door is shut, we go forward, right? And,
Amen.
You know, even with this 68-year-old lady, if I can share a story, this is when she was on the journey with me, and she actually went for some colonic hydrotherapy, and the hydrotherapist conducted some kind of biometric test. I don't know if you're familiar with those tests. They kind of attach electrodes to you, and it somehow reads certain waves in the body, or I'm not an expert on that by any means, but basically the practitioner, when she ran this test on the lady, said, you know what, you know, don't work too hard now on what, you know, for this lady, because she's, from what I can see, she's already begun her journey.
Wow.
I can't tell you how that turned my world completely upside down for a while when I heard that, okay, because this is somebody that I respected, and I still respect them. And I thought, but you know, for me, it's not, no one's a number, right? I love every one of my clients, And it was very painful to kind of hear those words. And so I spoke to a herbalist friend of mine, and she said, well, Janice, you're not God, and if it's time for someone to go, it's time for them to go. I thought, but who said it's time? How do we know it's time, So I just prayed and just kept working. And this lady's 84 years old now. And, at the time, I remember she, I think her hair was gray or white, when she started. I remember seeing her maybe a couple of months later. This woman's hair color, natural black, was coming back to her hair, because her body wasn't just healing from cancer, it was healing from all the deficiencies that her body experienced that led to her having the cancer in the first place. The body will heal itself on every level. We just have to know what the deficiencies are, where the body is lacking. And once we give the body what it needs, it's been designed by God. It knows what to do. It has its own natural intelligence at work, and for me, that was such a powerful and defining experience. And for that reason, I will never, I don't care, stage 4, gone to where, I will never turn anyone away, because I think until God says no and the door is shut, we go forward and we leave it in his hands, right? But we work with the laws of nature.
Yeah, I think that's such a beautiful place to end. And with that thought, the only thing that I will add to it is that our bodies are made to continue to grow and to continue to heal itself. We are so beautifully made. We cut ourselves and our bodies rejuvenate. Absolutely. And that is we didn't do that. We were created that way. So I just want to tap into the rest of the world that supports that, meaning the herbs and the vitamins and the minerals that help us to get that. To get that. So I love you to pieces. Tell everybody how to contact you. We need everything. We need everything but your address and phone number, unless you want to give us your address and phone number, but we need everything but that.
You can contact me via my website, which is www.intelligent-healing.com. That's one way to contact me. I also have a Facebook page by the same name, intelligent-healing.com. And you can also hit me up on LinkedIn. If you type my name in, Janice Naiken, that's Janice, N for November, AIKEN. You'll find me there, and you can always send me a direct message on LinkedIn.
Thank you, my friend. I want the whole world to understand that we've got the UK on this call. We've got Barbados in the house, and of course I'm from Jersey, so this is a global sisterhood, and we are really this just embodied educating women. Wasn't this whole conversation educational, inspirational?
Janice, take it from me, from someone who has been the root of traditional medicine. I have enjoyed every second of this conversation. I have just learned so much from you, and I know that I will be one of those persons that will reach out to learn more and to understand more, because while I may have dabbled in it and while it's something that might call me quietly, because I've been so steeped in the tradition of, I've never really taken that leap forward. But I'm here saying to myself, but if I was brave and bold enough to take that leap, could you imagine how much more awesomeness there would be?
Absolutely. Wow, is the world big enough for you, Karen? But what I would say is it's just never too late. And this may be an ideal time. Detox now has been said to be even more important than nutrition. And why? Because, there was a study published by the Journal of Environmental Health, and it did a study of women between the ages of 65 and 87 with high levels of lead. And it was found that they were 60% more likely to die in that 12-year period because of the toxicity of lead toxicity. And
Wow.
you know, lead is in vaccinations, it's in medications, it lines certain pipe work, so it's in our water supply. And so, and as we age, our bones actually release the stored lead, which can lead to strokes, it can lead to high blood pressure, it can lead to heart disease and weight gain. And sometimes we're not eating that much, but we're gaining weight and we don't understand why. And we think we need to just eat a piece of lettuce, and, you know, because we just can't, you know, or just breathe, you know, become breatharians where we just breathe air.
Is that what happened to me?
Listen, Nikki, we have to have Janice back again.
You know, so detox is so valuable.
Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Thank you for giving your time and just sitting with us and having this chat today. We so appreciate and value all that you have brought. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
the privilege is mine. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, you're welcome. So Karen, we have some wonderful ladies coming up and some more episodes coming up, and I think next week are we going to delve into money a little bit?
Next week is about money. Next week we'll be talking with the lady who says that she is a numbers geek, but she looks after the numbers that are very important to all of us as entrepreneurs. She is going to be talking to us about taxes and business. So that's going to be exciting.
Is that Sandra? Sandra's
that
next?
Is Sandra Morneau.
Oh yeah, she's an IRS agent. She's a tax IRS. Yeah, she's gonna come in and really drop some gems. We're not going to be able to hold.
This is going to be the tax version to the naturopath version.
I was just about to say that. If you thought Janice was good, now okay. So now we're healthy and we're about to get the ins and outs from a tax IRS agent. Let's go. I'm ready. Yeah. This series is the bomb.
Yeah. It's amazing. Absolutely.
Thank you. See you guys. Join us next week. Join us next week as we talk to Sandra. All right. Yeah. See you guys.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.